The song says, everybody plays the fool sometimes. And I'm trying to figure out, did these folks really think that people were some fools out here when they want to drop this denial based on the reasons for why that the spring game couldn't take place between Syracuse and Colorado? I mean, because I had to break down and look at exactly what was going on, because there's some things in there where I had to say the math ain't mathing. I mean, I get it. We could dress up a clown and take him to the fair, take him to the big tent for him to give us a show. And sometimes the show that they've given us is some crap that we really don't want to see. And to be totally honest, this was something that would have been monumental for both programs. Matter of fact, it would have been monumental for both conferences, if I'm not mistaken. But once again, we always want to find a loophole or a way to say, hey, you know what? That's not the way we need to go with this thing here this time. Or come away, hey, you guys didn't get here soon enough to make this thing happen. Or you didn't give us the proper information that we needed to make sure that all the I's and the T's was dotted and crossed. Well, guys, I had to sit down and look at this thing because I'm one who want to understand how the game is being played. And if you're dealing from the bottom of the deck, I want to know that you're dealing from the bottom of the deck. I don't need you to blow kisses to me and say, hey, you look real cute over there, coach. Do you mind coming over here for a glass of Kool-Aid? And, we can sit down and rap for a little while. No. I don't want that. I want me a daggone stiff drink. I want a real drink. I want to sit down and understand what's going on. I don't need nobody play no games with me. I want to see what's happening. But guys, I'm going to go ahead and jump on in this thing because, right now I'm starting to ramble. I'm getting a little fired up about it because we got to talk about this thing right after this. It's another episode of Blow the Whistle with your favorite coach, Coach Walker. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, tune in, tap in, tell a friend. Y'all know what time it is. Hey, right now you're watching me on your phones or your tablet or even on your TVs. I need y'all to do me a huge favor. Like I stated before, this is on the Tomorrow Leader Sports Network platform. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Tune in, tap in, tell a friend. Y'all know what time it is. I do these segments at least once or twice a week. Sometimes I have them a little out of order, but I just want to make sure I get them to you because I had to sit down and put some thought into some of this content that I'm trying to give y'all because I want to expand your minds just a little bit. Some folks like to say, oh, you got people on your mind. You got people with a free rental space up in your mind. No. I like to call it down. I like to make sure stuff is fair. And even when things ain't going fair for the other person that I might go ahead and get on about certain things from time to time, if I see some garbage that's not right, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead, bend that corner, get them to come on back. We're going to talk about exactly what's going on. In this instance right here, when I gave you guys the last show of Blow the Whistle, I said to you guys, this was going to be the rule that they were going to try to use to get away from giving these two coaches the opportunity to do something that would be monumental. And guess what? That's exactly what took place. But you know what? The joint practice scrimmage that Coach Prime and Coach Fran Brown of Syracuse was looking to have, they denied it. Y'all already know that. I'm sure y'all already heard about it around the world. They denied it. And I'm trying to understand, how in the world can you deny something like this when some of the parameters or some of the things that you put down as the reasons for why you canceled it is some of the things that's already going on right now. You already have students that's traveling playing in the NCAA tournament, or those that were playing in the NCAA tournament. They may be back on campus now, but yet still they went and played in the NCAA tournament. I'm sure they had to do their work online, things of that nature, correct? So if that's being said, I'm trying to understand, how that work? But I will say this. The other rule that I did talk about was the Division II rule, which will allow Division II schools to have a scrimmage against one another during spring for their spring game. And guess what? Clark Atlanta Morehouse College are having a spring game this weekend. So I know a lot of you like, wait a minute, hold on, how they do that? Remember, they're Division II. Now it's kind of like the rule where they stated that players from junior colleges, they were going to give them another year of eligibility. And I'm trying to understand, wait a minute, how in the world did they get an extra year eligibility when everyone got an extra year eligibility during the pandemic, which was 2020, when they played the spring games in 2021, and then they had a full season at the end of 2021, the regular season. They gave them that 2020 year back. So now all of a sudden we're going to give another year again for, to the junior colleges. I'm like, okay. Now this is where the rubber meets the road. And I'm trying to get an understanding of exactly what is the NCAA doing here, because I understand, I'm beginning to see why there's so many litigations, so why so many people are looking to sue the NCAA for whatever reason that it is. I mean, don't forget, you got the one lawsuit that's coming up here shortly that's going to get signed. It should be getting signed off either this month or next month, where the schools got to, decide if they're going to go into where they're going to give them all of that money, give $20 million for them to get that financial backing of $20 million from the NCAA based on that lawsuit that's going on. But we're not talking about that lawsuit right now. We're going to talk about Coach Prime and what Coach Brown is trying to do with the spring game. And I mean, it's knocking me off my feet, because let me read to you here from the oversight committee what was stated. And basically, the informational items that they stated: review and provide feedback on legislative relief waiver. The committee reviewed and provided feedback to the NCAA staff on a legislative relief waiver request to permit 2 FBS institutions to engage in a joint contact practice session, a joint non-contact practice session, and a 11-on-11 scrimmage during the institution's 2025 spring practice period. The committee raised concerns regarding, 1, the timing of the request, noting most institutions have already planned their spring practice periods, and some are at the end of or have completed their spring practice period. We need to reevaluate these rules and make sure that it's clear cut across the daggone board, so there's no conflict of, with somebody saying that this is going to happen, or somebody's choosing to do that, or somebody's trying to find a way to finagle and get around something that they shouldn't be trying to do to get over on the NCAA to get some extra practice time or whatever have you. No. That's not the case. What's going on here? That information was submitted to, I'm sure, the athletic directors of both programs, which they should have that information in writing from their coaches, email, or whatever the heck it is that they're supposed to submit to them, letting them know exactly when the spring practices as well as the spring game is going to take place. Not only that, but again, what are you getting at here? If both of these teams have not started their spring practice, then what's the problem here? I mean, but wait. I ain't done. Let's go to the second one. Let's go to the other thing that they stated. And then number 2 was the competitive and recruiting advantage gained by the applicant institutions if a waiver was approved to allow these institutions to engage in activities no other institutions are permitted to do. Wait a minute. Pause. Hit the brakes once again. Now, if I'm not mistaken, according to ESPN, there's 19 teams currently that are not going to have spring games. Some of them are looking to do something different, like have an alumni game or something another like that. And I was looking at the reason why. They gave a reason why, a lot of these programs are from having spring football games. And it stated the following, according to the article. It said, at the root of this trend is the idea that spring games hurt more than help. Why coaches are wondering, should they invite cameras in to showcase their players and schemes for opposing coaches? If a player performs well, this goes for backups or starters. It may generate interest from other programs who can offer a better role and or more money. If a player is executed well, it's something teams can prepare for. There is almost no competitive advantage, and that's before factoring in the possibility of injury. This isn't a new revelation. That's why these games have consistently scaled back. They've become glorified practices, and in most cases, coaches believe they are less productive than the other spring practices. An SEC coach said he records every opponent's televised spring game, and the staff watches them in the summer to observe potential personnel changes with new players, rather than looking for schematic insight, as the games are intentionally kept basic. Plus, as the season gets longer, there is more of a need for off-season rest and recovery. Injuries plus the revolving transfer door impact player availability and continuity. A spring game exacerbates those issues. Cap. That's cap. That's straight crap. Tell you why that's crap. Because the NCAA has just done away with the national letter of intent, right? So if you've done away with the national letter of intent, how are these kids going to be re-recruited out of your program? The national letter of intent was removed for players. Players will now sign a written offer of athletics aid with the school of choice, and other schools will be prohibited from recruiting players once the aid agreements are signed. Guess how you end that? If these athletes have not signed any agreement, have not signed their aid agreement, then you don't take them on the daggone trip. They don't even get on the bus or plane to go to wherever it is that the scrimmage is going to be. The practice and the scrimmage is going to be. What are they there for? This is something that's beginning to really water down college football. Everyone wanted NIL. Everybody wanted name, image, and likeness. The NCAA wanted to finally go ahead, cave in, and give everyone name, image, and likeness, but they gave it to everyone without any parameters. There was no guidelines as far as how these athletes were to be compensated for the name, image, and likeness. It was just, hey, we're gonna leave it up to the states to do. And then looking at these bogus responses to why these two teams are not being allowed to have a joint scrimmage. What are we talking about? It's not a game. It's not a game. And you know what? I'm gonna let's cut the chase with this. Let's screw this. Let's cut the chase with this. If an SEC coach is talking about how him and his daggone coaching staff sit down and watch everybody's spring game, you know what? Now that I know that you guys are sitting there watching the tendencies and things that I'm doing from a personnel standpoint, I would change that crap up and come smoke y'all behind every time you stepped out there on the daggone field with me. You know why? Because a lot of these coaches out here, excuse my vernacular how I'm about to put this, but you guys are lazy as hell. There's no way in the world you're going to sit here and tell me that you should know somebody is recording your spring game to see exactly what you're doing, and you're running the same garbage in the fall when you go up against, when you play these people? Are you serious? No one thinks outside the box anymore to make sure that you have multiple schemes or multiple ways of running plays. You know daggone well you keep a spring game vanilla as heck anyway. Why are you out here running a fourth and one your gadget play that you know daggone well you setting up to come beat somebody later on in the season when you need that play to work? That's just dumb. I mean, I get the old cliche of, hey, line it up. You got to stop whatever I put out there on the field. I got you with all of that. I understand that. And you know what? Sometimes I coach that way as well. But you know, I'm going to be honest with you. There's a couple times I got my behind thumped for that daggone mentality right there because knowing daggone well, somebody had been sitting down studying what we was doing. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell you about a time we played a team and I'm standing out there on the field. And I kept telling my tight end, I'm like, listen, block the daggone defensive end on the left-hand side. He's knifing down. And every time that daggone tight end, he would not get it through his head, block that man. You know why? Because we didn't practice that all week long. We practiced the play the other way where you release him and got daggone run the play. He's wide open on a dunk pass, should be good to go. Guess what? That defensive end knifed down so quick coming down the line of scrimmage, he was knocking my daggone quarterback jock in the dirt. So, yeah, it left everybody sitting out there looking like, God, dog, we got to find a way to stop this. And I'm sitting there like, hey, come on, man, we got to do this. And Coach stood, you know what he stood there and told me? He said, hey, Coach, guess what? I'm going to keep sending this behind until y'all stop him. he sat there and told me, I'm going to keep sending this behind until y'all find out a way to stop him. And you know what? I finally had to go ahead and call timeout, and I had to pull the guard from the other side to catch him and tell the quarterback, hey, listen, I need you to roll out right. Just roll right. Roll right. If you're on your tail, take off and go. But I need my right end. I need you to come down that line and seal his behind. When he come down, knock his behind in the dirt. Finally got the playoff after what? 4 or 5 times trying to do it. I'm just saying. Offensive coordinator was trying to run that play. Every time we ran it, dude stopped it. Every time we ran that freaking play, he stopped it. And we had to change it. Hey, keeper, you're going to roll that thing out there. You're going to go out the back door with that thing. You're going to keep it. It's adjustments, guys. So basically what we're hearing is there's coaches out here making millions of dollars that don't know how to make adjustments out there on the field. No wonder why we got some of these teams out here getting smoked out here on the daggone field week in and week out. No wonder why we keep seeing the same teams year in and year out competing for a national championship. That explains it. That explains it. But let me get back. I had my rant. Let me get back to what I was talking about here. Let me get to the third thing. Third thing here, which was said, the potential academic impact associated with student athletes missing class time to participate in practice activities. Come on, dog. For real? We really went with that? Seriously, for real. Are these kids going to class right now? I mean, how many of these athletes right now have online classes? Hey, keep it a buck, folks. How many of these athletes right now in all of these Power 4 programs have online classes? And if you're gonna sit here and tell me that at least 95% of the athletes that's playing college football go to class, I'm gonna tell you your face, you a daggone lie. Ain't nowhere in the world I'm believing that. I'm not. I am not. Because of the rigorous schedule that they have, they're required. This is a job to them. They're required to be at practice morning, afternoon. I'm sure at 5 a.m., hey, they go to practice, get up. They got, ain't nobody getting no classes after 1 p.m., 2 o'clock. Guess what? Because you're going back out there on the field. Come on, guys. Let's be real with this here, guys. You guys did not want to see Coach Prime and Coach Brown pull this thing off and show everybody what's going on. Heck, you had Coach Gundy over at Oklahoma State. He's trying to do the same thing because of the realignment between Oklahoma State and Oklahoma. It's a financial windfall for the universities. Everybody's complaining about NIL. You're getting a means or a way to build up cachet to pay your athletes, to take care of your athletes in the manner what you're trying to do to keep them in your programs. But no, everybody want to sit around and want to be lazy and don't really want to do the work that they need to do to make sure they keep the athletes in their programs. I'm sorry, I'm giving truth service right now. I'm sorry. I should have brought my big old 750 milliliter 1800. Just sat it right here, so we can go ahead and take shots and say truth serum. Let's talk about it, because what's going on right now, man. This is ridiculous. I can't believe the NCAA even sent this back to anybody to make this look like it was something more than what it really was. It comes a point in time where you have to be honest as far as with what's going on. That's a financial windfall for both universities. Everybody walks away with something. They're able to, pack the house. You get the crowd to come in there and see what's going on. I'm sure you're going to have people traveling down from Syracuse to come see this daggone spring game, get this thing going on because they want to see these two schools get it going on. You got Coach Prime coming from HBCU, coming to Colorado that's done great things, turned the program around there. And here you got Coach Brown that came from the University of Georgia that's over there with Syracuse doing his thing, getting his program moving the direction that it's moving. And all of a sudden we have this. We're not gonna let this go on. But see, now I understand. At first it took me a minute to really grasp why Coach Brown said what he said. When he was asked about the them being denied for the game, and I'm just like, guys, I'm trying to understand where it's just too much. Like I said, a lot of this stuff to me is ambiguous as far as why this was denied. I'm trying to understand what recruiting advantage are they having? I mean, we just, hey, look, if you got guys that's not on your roster, they have not signed their aid packet saying that they are there with the school, they're there with the program, they can't go nowhere. You've already shrunk down the windows for the transfer portal. Any athlete that's at a program right now that's considering leaving and they just got there in January, or they're considering leaving and they was there last season, guess what? They was already thinking that before this even took place. So what are we talking about here? NCAA, y'all didn't understand when y'all open up the floodgates for NIL, this is what you're going to have? There's no real There's not going to be any real checks and balances with this. You're going to have a bunch of athletes sitting around on benches, or they're not going to have an opportunity to play at all. They're going to get flushed. And what I mean by flushed is they're going to get flushed, meaning they're going to be sitting in programs in which when it comes time for them to leave, or they're going to want to leave, guess what? Coach is going to hold on to their behind and not send that paperwork out there, even though it's required by the institution to do it. This about to be a real dirty game, boy. Hey, everybody going to be drinking some of this dumpster juice, boy. That's all I'm going to tell you. Y'all be sucking back that dumpster juice with this crap that's going to pop off. Because this is going to get out of control. This was a home run for the NCAA. Easy. This was an easy home run for the NCAA. They don't want to have spring games because they don't want people to try to come in and recruit their kids. If you worry about somebody recruiting your athlete, how good of a job did you do recruiting them? I'm just saying. But yeah, let's check this out. Coach Brown ain't. I like Coach Brown over there at Syracuse. He ain't biting his tongue what he got to say. I'm digging what he putting down. I'm just being honest with you. I am digging what he putting down. And when Coach Brown joked about being denied, when he said they should have just told Coach Belichick and Coach Bill O'Brien to come up with it. You know dang old well, he said something else. Well, screw it. He said, you know damn well they weren't about to allow Coach Prime and Coach Fran Brown to be the first two guys to do it over their dead bodies. Coach Brown, I'm going to be completely honest with you, sir. You 1 billion% correct. You are 1 billion% correct, sir. Like I stated before, we got to get in the habit, and I'm not talking about the coaches, because I'm sure the coaches did their due diligence as far as reviewing everything that they needed to, dotting all the I's, crossing the T's to make sure they had everything in place for them to submit this paperwork for an opportunity to do something. That was going to be phenomenal. Unfortunately, you got the powers that be, the paper pushers over there. They feeling how they feel, and that's understood. But in the grand scheme of it all, coaches, get your teams prepared this spring. Get whatever it is that you need to put in place. I know you guys are gonna keep things as vanilla as possible, and that's another thing. Having a scrimmage against somebody else, you're gonna be vanilla. You're gonna be vanilla. You're gonna run the same freaking play probably 10 times. You're probably gonna have like 5 plays that you're gonna run. And I know daggone well, all you coaches out there with them big old play sheets, I know y'all ain't got 5 key plays that y'all run the whole freaking game. But anyway, let me let that go, because I can just keep going on and on about this, because it just got me boiling right now. But hey, to both of the coaches, wish you guys the best of luck in your spring camp, and also look forward to you guys doing some phenomenal things out there on the field this upcoming season with your teams in your respective conferences. Look forward to seeing if you guys get the opportunity to break the top 25, or better yet, break the top 10 and get into the swing of things as far as having an opportunity to play for a natty this upcoming football season. But guys, Coach going to go ahead and get up on out of here. This is another episode of Blow the Whistle with your favorite coach, Coach Walker. But until next time, y'all know what it is. Be the one and lead. Peace. We gone.